regular meeting of the Greensburg Board of Zoning Appeals is called to order. If you'd all rise and face the flag and recite the pledge along with me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary, anonymous survey that is available on the table at the back of the room. John, would you call the roll, please?
Roy.
Yes, present.
Richard.
Yes, here.
David. Here. Steve.
Here.
Bruce. Here. Okay,
you all saw a copy of the minutes from our last meeting, which was in September 20th of 2016. Is there any additions or corrections that need to be made to those? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion that we approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes from the September 20th, 2016 meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion stands approved. New business this evening. TMC Indiana 2 LLC is requesting a permanent variance for 1500 through 1516 North Lincoln Street, Greensburg, Indiana, as allowed by the City of Greensburg Code of Ordinances, Section 155.242B2. The permanent variance involves reducing a front yard setback depth on the Barochelle Lane frontage of the parcel to a depth of 29 feet, which is less than the 60 feet front yard depth required by the City of Greensburg Zoning Ordinance Section 155.034A. Also, a temporary variance is requested on the same parcel to permit providing only 31 parking spaces during the construction of the new building and providing only 25 parking spaces during the demolition and repaving of the existing store site, rather than the 70 parking spaces required during the construction of the new store and the 87 spaces required during the demolition of the existing building and repaving of the area for additional parking. All as required by City of Greensburg Code of Ordinances, Section 155.087B. At the conclusion of construction, all required parking spaces will be provided. Ron.
Property in question, probably most of us know, is the CVS site. The existing CVS store is here, and there's a little strip mall located right in here. This is Barochelle Lane across here and Lincoln Street here. The petitioner is proposing the construction of a new CVS store in this general area. This dash line here, I believe, represents the existing strip mall, and this dash line up here represents the existing CVS store. The front yard setback provided along Lincoln is in conformance with our ordinance. The setback along Barochelle is, well, I said 29 in the information I gave you to be safe. It's around 30 feet. The question is, because of the wording in our ordinance, I can read the ordinance, and sometimes I read it and I think it says on corner lots both are front yards, and other times I think maybe it says the developer gets a choice as to which is the front yard. So we needed to bring the parking question that I'll get to in just a second here to you also, so I let you sort out what our ordinance says and what your requirements are relative to the situation along here. Now, you may notice that right here I believe, is the southern boundary of the strip mall, and it is further south from where the proposed building line would be. So if you approve this and allow them to occupy the space in here, it will be slightly north of the bounds of the existing building. The parking question has to do with, there is a line across here that they are proposing as a construction phasing. So this area, I guess, would be fenced off, and they would come in here and demolish this building, and these parking spaces that exist down here would no longer be available for the operation of the current store that's located up in here. They would build this, and when that is completed, they would develop the parking south of this line, and then they would reverse their operation. They would operate their store here and demolish this building and then build the parking shown in this area up here. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think there were 31 spaces that were going to be available while they were building the new store, and then when they opened the new store and while they demolished this, they would be down to, I believe it was 25 spaces. When they're finished, 91, I think, was to be provided. Our ordinance requires 87 spaces, and I will offer my opinion about our parking ordinance. I think for retail sales, 1 space per 150 square foot of building area is one of the higher parking requirements you will find. I researched 4 or 5 of our neighbors, and they're more like 200, 1 space per 200, 250, or 300 square foot of building area, so they have lesser parking requirements than what we have. And just for your general information, we were talking about the reduced setback from our ordinance. The southern elevation here is what the building along Baruchel Lane would look like, and then these are the views of the other sides of the building. Questions? Bruce?
Well, back to your map there, I was looking at that multi-tenant mall, that little strip mall that operates there right this time. Is that where the fence is separating them, or is that still, that will still exist while they're constructing a new store if this variance is given, is that correct?
We have a representative of the petitioner here, and he can probably answer that question better than me. Please introduce yourself for the record.
My name is Craig Forgan with TM Crowley & Associates. We are a preferred developer for CVS in Indiana and several other states in the Midwest. As we're proposing to develop this thing, what you see in blue highlighted here, this is the existing building today. There is a fence today that's on the adjoining property owner's property that comes down to this location here and then stops. We're proposing to put a fence in, a board fence all the way down to past our drive-through, so that any cars or headlights that might be in the drive-through would be blocked by a board fence. Plus, we're proposing to do some additional landscaping in that. We're willing to put it on either side of the fence, whichever it makes it look good for the adjoining property owner and the adjoining property owner would want. But today, there's actually, I believe there's only about a 5-foot landscape strip in there currently today. Our landscape strip along the east side of the property ranges from 9 feet 7 inches on the south to like 11 feet 9 inches on the north. So it'll be providing a little bit more of a landscape buffer than what's there today.
Okay, and the multi-tenant building that's behind the store that you're wanting to erect, it will remain open?
No, it'll be demolished and those tenants are being relocated to another location.
Okay, so those will be out of there when this new store is being.
That's correct.
Okay, that's my main concern as far as safety issues there.
Yep, the only thing that will be in operation is the CVS
Store itself
during construction.
Will there be, during construction then, will you be using the exit out onto Barishell Lane? The way I see it there, it doesn't look like you will, but.
No, it'll only be used for construction traffic.
Okay.
So in my plan right now for during construction is we come into this red line, we put a construction fence all the way across.
Okay,
I really
so-
don't want cars going back and forth during construction. It's not safe.
Right, well, that was
Yeah.
one of my concerns, but you
Yep.
addressed. I was under the impression, as Ron was, that was, for some time, that building, that strip mall there, for lack of another term, was gonna still be being used. So, that, I see from your drawing that that's not the case, so, okay. Any other questions from my board members? David?
During the construction period on the new building, will the drive-up still be available on the old building?
Yes. There'll be a one-way traffic on the south side of the building. It gets narrow here, and we want to leave the parking on the south side of the building open, so there'll be one-way traffic flow around the building. And now the drive-through's back here, so that'll allow it to be open.
Clear it more.
Yep. Yep. Trust me, CVS will want to clear the mark. The store manager will be yelling at me.
So what are these things right there? What
Those
they
are,
representing?
well, that's this sidewalk, and those are the
So
88.
is that a sidewalk
The
you're going to put
Yep.
in
Yep.
down all the way around it?
Yep. You'll see them both up, comes out with a little bit of level concrete and then it ramps up on both sides. And then, yeah, both up here as well.
What's the distance from the sidewalk to your driveway for your drive-through?
The,
Is this a curb that's going to be for the drive-through here?
yeah, so this is a curve here. So you'll have a 24-foot wide drive lane. It'll be one way. After you get past here, it'll be one way going out. So you have a 24-foot drive lane, one drive lane for your stacking for your drive-through, and then one bypass lane. So you have 24 feet there. You have another approximately 5 feet to the right-of-way line.
Will that be a grassy area?
It'll be grass. So you'll have, I don't know this exactly the distance, but that's roughly 10 feet. So you're roughly 10 feet between the sidewalk and the curb line for the drive-through.
Any other questions from board members? Anyone from the audience here to speak on behalf of this petition? Any other questions or concerns for Ron or any other thing on this issue? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the request to limit for the limited amount of parking spaces during construction and demolition, with the noted that when it's done, it'll meet all the requirements.
And the setback? You
Right,
include
all
everything?
that'll be done. We're not doing anything other than changing the setback on the 29 feet.
Yeah.
You can read that, I'll just give my opinion on it. You can read that kind of whether that's a side yard or a front yard.
Yeah.
Sometimes you read it and you think it's 2 front yards, but we all know we don't really have 2 front, nobody has 2 front yards. Even if you're on a corner lot, you always consider one of them your side yard, so.
Yeah. It's going to be a tight, I guess when they go through the drive-through, they have to go around the building.
It's all one-way traffic on the back side of the building northbound. That'll all be one way going.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the setback in the parking spaces.
Motion's been made that we approve the setback to 29 feet and approve the limited number of parking spaces during the demolition and construction period. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. John, would you call the roll, please?
Bruce,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Roy,
Yes. That's been approved. Moving on to item number 2. Larry and Cindy McCammon are requesting a permanent variance on a parcel of ground located along the south side of Park Road from approximately 520 feet east of County Road 150 West to approximately 1,300 feet east of County Road 150 West, Greensburg, Indiana, as allowed by the City of Greensburg Code of Ordinances, Section 155.242B2. The permanent variance involves permitting an accessory building with an area of up to 3,000 square feet for each of the 5 parcels to be created by a proposed subdivision, which would be in excess of the maximum area of 600 feet permitted by the City of Greensburg zoning ordinance sections 155.016A1 and 155.020C. And just for the record, you'll notice in your packet that we got a letter from Ross, Garvey, Walker, and Robbins attorneys, and it addresses issues that will be considered by the Plan Commission, not by the BZA. The drainage issues and cuts to for the driveways for these homes are not what we're deliberating about. We're just looking at the accessory buildings. Just want to make that clear that this part right here only pertains to the size of the accessory building. Ron?
The parcel in question is located on the south side of Park Road, and here is County Road 150 West, and the area outlined in orange here is the site. It is zoned R1. In an R1 district, you are allowed by our zoning ordinance accessory buildings, which are freestanding garages, pool houses, storage sheds, those kinds of structures. You are allowed 1 accessory structure with an area up to 600 square feet. The petitioner will be before the Plan Commission this evening requesting approval of a primary plat for a 5-lot subdivision that looks like this. And again, this is the boundary of the site here. You are not to, it's not your duty to consider the subdivision, rather it is your responsibility to consider granting the request the petitioner has asked to be permitted to have on each of these 5 lots an accessory building with an area up to 3,000 square feet. These lots as proposed range from, I think, roughly 2.4 acres up to 4.3 acres. They are, by city standards, quite large lots. I believe in my report to you, I had told you that there were proposed 20-foot side yard setbacks. In fact, the developer has revised that, and those side yard setbacks are now shown on the material being presented to the Planning Commission at 10 foot, which does satisfy our side yard setback requirements for an R1 district. So the question before you is, will you allow accessory buildings up to 3,000 square foot in area?
Questions of Ron by board members?
I would recommend to you that if you do approve this request, that any approval you grant be conditional upon the Plan Commission approving the plat on both primary and secondary readings or considerations.
Or we get the cart before the horse here. I mean, we get a zoning ordinance approval before that's even
It's just
developed.
It's a little bit chicken and egg. The petitioner is asking to have a covenant on the plat that allows up to 3,000 square foot accessory buildings.
You know, it'd be nice if we knew what they were going to look like and where it was going to be. And
That'll be for the Plan Commission to decide those issues, though. We're only really dealing with the size of them. And On that note, we've been discussing, having higher quality, more expensive homes in Greensburg. Supposedly one of the weaknesses that people looking at our community to come here is that we do not have things like this, large lots that allow them to do things that you just wouldn't be able to do on a regular, what we think of as a city lot. Okay, so we're building Whitaker's got the place out there with
The preserve at Sand Creek.
yeah, the preserve at Sand Creek. Thank you, Ron. And again, those are larger homes, and they don't really follow what we here in Greensburg have normally seen. So, just something for you to think about is that people that are high-end, want to build a high-end house, they want to maybe have a pool and a pool, building out there by it, and then a garage and who knows what else. That's what they want. That's the amenities that seem to be now that they seem to want for those type of homes.
I probably should also mention that the plat will show, I think it's a 105-foot setback for the front yards off of the front property line. Where our ordinance requires, I believe it's 30 foot in our R1 district, so the proposed setback is much greater. Those homes would set much further off of the road than your typical development.
Well, the really deep lots.
They are very deep lots.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's nice homes just to the west of it that
And to the north.
Any other questions from Ron? I noticed Larry's here and Keegan. You have anything you wish to say, Larry or Keegan, about this?
The covenants have been put together. I know we put some things in them to kind of ease you guys with what's going to be built out there. I don't want to be selling lots for X amount of dollars and have somebody put up a 3,000 square foot shack. I'm not looking to do that. I even think in the ordinances or in the covenants that we put together, I think we even asked that the auxiliary building be behind the main residence. The driveway from the home to the auxiliary building's address, it has to be paved, or it has to be some sort of paved, concrete or asphalt. The colors and all those things have to match the exterior of the home. And we've even got it set up to where you can't leave an RV outside. With the building, we're looking to make the building nicer and indoor storage, or they put whatever they wanted in there. But we're trying to make it nice. And if you guys have concerns or anything like that, I feel like it would be put at ease if the covenances, or if you guys needed to see something added to the covenances, we'd be more than happy to do that.
Thank you.
Larger building also, Larry, could you please, the larger building also, auxiliary building, whether you allow 3,000 or what, the terrain in the back, and there's an easement that's going through the back for water, about 3,000 acres drain through there. They're going to need equipment. You're not going to mow back in that ravine and through that easement with, you're going to have a small tractor, and you're going to have tools to keep it clean and nice. Building, they can't, you've got the covenants, they can't build less than a 3,000 square foot. If it's a ranch, they have to have a 3-car garage, it has to be brick, rock, stucco. And we are looking for higher end. The lots start at 100,000, so I don't think they're going to be building anything too small on it. Well, our restriction, 3,000 square feet, I doubt that there'll be a 3,000 square foot house.
But they have the option to build up to 3,000.
And the auxiliary building, in case they wanted to build a carriage building, a separate garage, like Wade has, Ryle has on, and, but that's the reason they asked for that. That can be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody from the audience here to speak on this petition? Jim, if you'd come and just state your name for the record, please.
Jim Israel. My wife Dawn Barnes and I own the property that would be adjoining this. And I guess my question is, why does the building need to be so big? I've got a 36 by 45 outbuilding on our property, and I've got a little Kubota-sized tractor and a bush hog and a riding lawnmower and all, various garden stuff in mine. And I mean, it's ample. It just seems like it's a lot. Like it's a big building. Yes, I understand it's going to be big houses and very nice and so forth, but I still think it's just excessive in the size of the building.
Anybody else in the audience to speak on this petition? Any more questions from board members? If not, I entertain a motion that we approve the request for the variance to allow accessory buildings up to 3,000 square feet on each of the 5 lots.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded. John, will you call the roll, please?
Richard,
Yes.
Roy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Okay. Next item of business is report for the zoning, from the zoning administrator.
I can tell you that there will be a meeting in January. We do have a petition for a sign variance. So there will be a meeting in January. Beyond that, I don't know too much. Any general questions of me?
Any other questions?
You need that sign-off sheet for that little video we were supposed to watch.
Is that the internal controls
Yes.
video? Those need to go to the clerk treasurer's office. We can drop it up at the front desk, I think, sir. We'll get it there. I'm going to be out the rest of the week, so
Vacation.
gotta use it up for the end of the year.
Any other items of BZA members? Anything else you want to talk about? If not, I'd entertain a motion. We adjourn. Done. Aye. Okay. Sure. Yes.
Can we just lay that on up front desk up there?
If you don't mind, just reach over the counter and leave here, and she'll find it in the morning and do something with it.
Kinds of cables here.
Be careful of her trip out.
It's not safe.
So they're going to have quite a few less parking places than what they have. Construction period, there'll be a big fence there, it'll be a construction only fence, and it's going to be something everybody's just going to have to deal with for us to get a new and more modern CVS, which I think really helps the
I'll bring it up together.
I think that in people that are in the real estate business, one of the things they say we're lacking in Greensburg, that when people come that are high-end people, there's our new factories and that run those places and want to build big homes and have all the amenities that are people are wanting today. They want bigger outbuildings. These are not your standard, quarter-acre lot that you might get in the city. These are the minimum, the smallest one's 2.5 acres, I think, and the biggest one's like almost 5 acres. So it's just something that I think we need to do, just bigger. It seems like people want that nowadays.
Yeah, so that's what, let me, finish up the whole in, and I'll see if maybe that's something we could do. We could do that early in the January meeting. We could talk about it, and see if we could do it on the agenda for January. We could have it nominated, if he's okay with it.